accomplish that. I know you're all
As a man, I'm flesh and blood. I can be ignored, I can be destroyed, but as a symbol, as a symbol, I can be incorruptible.
He gave us a signal.
Where are you?
Something elemental, something terrifying.
Hello and welcome back to episode 10 of Cake Cast. I'm Sammy Threepeat, and with me is Drunken Emerald Arrow. We're going to have some other people jumping in. But today, well, actually, first, how you doing today, Drunken?
It's Saturday, it's the weekend finally, and now we've hit the summer months, so it's getting hot.
I hear that. Let's today we will be discussing my favorite Robin, Tim Drake. I picked my favorite outfit for him as well. Just as far as I'm concerned, the perfect Robin. He's if you're not gonna have Bruce, or if you're not gonna have Dick, well, he's a great match for Bruce. So why don't we share a screen, get right into it. Today is going to be a shorter one. We're more than likely going to have to break this episode up because I have
Up to about what, pre-crisis and then post-crisis, or?
Yeah, I mean, we can start out with like opening thoughts and get the because I don't know, Tim Drake is all post-crisis.
Oh yeah, Infinite Crisis. I'm talking. New 52.
Yeah, or New 52.
Yeah.
But let's share the screen. Let's see. First, we should probably say hi to the chat. We'll have more people jumping in here in a second right now. Guys, and I forgot my banner. What will I do without my banner? Yeah,
there we go.
The bat like button, the bat subscribe, and bat share. Volume is low, Sammy. Let's see there. Let's try that. How's that, Boosh? Okay, we got Roman, first one in. How you doing, buddy? The incomparable Boosh McFadden. Warren O'Bly, always good to see you. Why did Batman throw the remote? He was out of batteries. Oh, thanks, dear. All right. let's get right in. Oh, Jake Martin hopping right in. All right. So Tim Drake, so he first appeared in Batman 463 in August of 1989. So since I've been around, Tim Drake has always been around. Let's see. Like they have, so he eventually becomes Red Robin in 2009.
Yum.
Yeah, and then now I think now they said now he's returned to his original Robin persona, but briefly used the mononym Drake, which is, fine, I guess. Which isn't a Drake a duck?
Yes, male duck, I believe.
Yeah, so they're all bird related here. But it says as a young boy, Tim was in the audience the night of Dick Grayson's parents, or the night that Dick Grayson's parents were murdered. Which I'm stuttering over myself. I hate when they do this.
Yeah,
not everything has to be intertwined. He later managed to discover the identities of Batman and the original Robin through their exploits. After the death of the second Robin, Jason Todd, and witnessing Batman spiral into darkness, Tim attempted to convince Dick to resume the role of Robin, stating Batman needs Robin. However, Dick refused.
I'm sorry. You bring it. We're going to bring up again. Drake's not Drake. Todd's death, and all of a sudden, in my head went to your dead puppies because multiple times.
We'll just throw it in there just because it's hilarious.
Dead puppies, dead puppies, dead puppies aren't much fun.
Yeah, I'll have to remember to keep doing that every time we mention the death of Jason Todd.
Right.
Because that's a banger. But yeah, no, it's one of those things. It's not needed. He could have just been a huge fan of Batman. He didn't have to be there the night Dick Grayson's parents were killed. Also, it makes his age kind of questionable. Because at that point in time, like Jason Todd, or I'm sorry, that point in time, Dick Grayson would have to be like adult. At this point, Dick Grayson's an adult. He's Nightwing.
It would be, as much as I don't want to say it, it would make more sense for him to be in the audience if it was like the age of Robin that's in Batman Forever.
Yeah, or at the very least, so Dick was like 8 years old. At the very minimum, you're gonna put Tim Drake like 3 years younger than Dick. That doesn't really work. He should be a couple years younger than Jason.
Right.
It is how I always saw it in my head. But who knows? We're not here to do head canon. We're here to do actual canon. So so Tim attempted to convince Dick to resume the role of Robin, stating that Batman needs a Robin. That's arguable. A lot of people do not feel that way. But however, Dick refused to return to being Batman's sidekick. Instead, Tim was appointed the third Robin. And Neil Adams, one of the GOATs, I had the pleasure of meeting him at a Comic-Con one year, and he was just awesome to hang out. And the lines were slow, so I got to hang out with him for like a good 30 to 45 minutes. And just shoot the shit with him, and he was real awesome. But yeah, he redesigned the entire Robin costume, which I think is the best. And he redesigned I guess Norm Brayfogle redesigned the R logo, which I think is better anyway. There's nothing about this upgraded design that I don't like. It's all better. It looks like it's battle ready. It looks like it's as much as everyone wants to see Dick's bare ass and like quads and everything, this looks like it might actually take some damage. I mean, the color scheme is still wild, but flipping the cape and having the black on the outside and, keeping the boots black, where if he needed to, he could actually cover up in the shadows if he put his cape over him. That makes a huge difference. Let's see what you got here.
There's just a little bit closer image.
Yeah, that's much better. Yeah, and I love the kind of like the shoulder padding.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a solid take. Actually, that's the same image that I used for the thumbnail today. Just because it's such a great design. So we can go right back, but yeah, so they completely upped the design. So subsequent stories emphasize Tim's superior detective skills compared to the previous two Robins, which make him more similar to Batman. He succeeded Dick as the leader of the Teen Titans and later led his own superhero team, Young Justice. He was briefly followed in the role of Robin by Stephanie Brown, and then a longer period by Batman's biological son, Damian Wayne. During the time Tim operated as Red Robin, Tim has been shown to have a close friendship with Superboy, and his most high-profile pairings with superheroes, Stephanie Brown and Cassie Sandsmark, who is Wonder Girl. And then I don't think it was the New 52, and then all of a sudden they just made him gay.
Yeah.
Which we will get to that eventually. But so publication history, Tim Drake was created to succeed Jason Todd as Robin in the story Death of the Family. Named after Tim Burton, I did not know that. So he was named after Tim Burton. He first appeared in Batman Year 3. I did know that, by writer Marv Wolfman and penciler Pat Braddock, before having his origin detailed in Batman: A Lonely Place of Dying, a crossover story between the ongoing series Batman and the New Titans by Marv Wolfman, penciled by George Perez, another goat in his own right, Jim Aparo, the latter with inks by Mike DiCarlo, in which he first introduced himself to Dick Grayson and impressed the former Robin with his skills. So, yeah. So this guy just came in gangbusters. He is, he's a genius. And one of my favorite things about him, he's the only one that Ra's al Ghul calls detective besides Bruce Wayne. So, I mean, just to show you the level of respect that Tim Drake should garner, that's no small thing. This led Grayson and later Alfred Pennyworth, Bruce Wayne's butler, to support Tim's request to be Batman's new partner, not wanting to make the same mistake as he did with Jason Todd. Bruce had Tim endure an intensive period of training, which was never given to his predecessors, which Jason sorely needed. As we talked about for the last 2 episodes. As such, Tim remained in a non-superhero supporting character for the first year of his regular appearances in the Batman title, mainly operating out of the Batcave, which is smart to do, right? If you're trying to teach someone how to do the job, especially something like this, let him be the man in the chair for a little bit. I mean, the man in the chair sees what Batman's seeing, he hears what Batman's hearing, but he's in no physical danger.
It's a good training process, essentially. I mean, it's just you have access to everything, you're seeing everything, and then you can see exactly what not to do, what to do. And being that him being a good detective as well, it allows Batman to sit there and instruct and train through the visual aspect of it for his being a detective as well. And then on top of that, being in the Batcave, doing the detection work and detective work from the Batcave too is a good way for training as well, especially after Jason Todd and just putting him out there and
just letting him run amok. And that's basically what got him killed is that lack of training. And but let's bounce right into the character biography. Tim Drake is the son of Jack Drake and Janet Drake. Jack Drake was I think he was always wheelchair bound, but coming from the same social class as Bruce Wayne. When he was a young child, he visited the circus for the first time with his parents. The Drakes asked the Flying Graysons for a photo together, resulting in a momentary bond between Tim and Dick Grayson as they met for the first time. Dick Grayson's parents were murdered that night, witnessed by Tim in the audience. Growing up, Tim's parents were frequently absent for months at a time as they traveled around the world on archaeological digs. Thus, he was left in a boarding school with relatively little adult supervision by age 9. See, this is another thing. So, when exactly does he become Batman? So I'm guessing probably by like 15, or when he becomes Robin, probably by like age 15.
Yeah.
But which is fine, you know. Having 8-year-old Dick Grayson could be like a one and done. Having like a teenage sidekick, it's fine. That, you know, that's Dick Grayson was a special boy, a boy wonder, if you will. Let's see. By the age of 9, Tim, who had a very sharp intellect, had deduced the identities of Batman and Robin as Bruce Wayne and Dick Grayson. After witnessing a gymnastic maneuver by Robin that he previously saw Grayson display at the Haley Circus by the inspired by the hero's exploits, Tim trained himself in martial arts, acrobatics, detective skill, and scholastics to better himself both physically and intellectually, through having no intention of joining Batman one day, mainly through his self-fulfillment. So already he is the most let's say emotionally grounded and emotionally well off. You know, he comes from a place of privilege. He has he has parents, even though they're not quite there, but they're still sending him to great schools. He's watching Batman and Robin, and he's not like, oh, I want to fight criminals someday. He's just like, these guys are like peak human potential. I want to reach that for myself. Excellent. Like he's so he's doing it, mainly for self-fulfillment. When Tim reached the age of 13, he saw Batman had grown reckless and violent following the second Robin's murder by the Joker. Oh, we wish we could have you here, Vaughn. But anytime you want to stop in, you're always welcome. Yeah, and he's right. Tim Drake is, I would say, the best. At least my favorite Robin. I would
more the better sidekick or Batman, and the skills needed to be his partner.
Yes, I was gonna say I will always love Dick Grayson, but as far as under the mantle of Robin, even though when you say Robin, I immediately think of Dick Grayson, the one I prefer in the role is Tim Drake. Because, reasoning that Batman needs a Robin, he approached Dick Grayson. We already talked about this. Dick refused. But Tim's actions in an encounter with Two-Face prompted him and Alfred Pennyworth to see Tim as a potential third Robin. Batman agreed to mentor him and use his assistance in the Batcave, but first resolved to involve Tim in the field out of concern of the boy's safety, not wanting him to repeat Jason's fate. After a series of events involving Tim's mother's death and his father's paralysis. Okay, so he wasn't. Yeah, that would make sense. That he was not always in a wheelchair, because they seemed to be kind of like a jet-setting couple.
Yep.
Traveling around.
Very kind of almost really similar to Bruce. Not necessarily being rich, but being pretty well off, grounded, but a little bit different, obviously, is that his dad is still alive, but his mom did pass.
Yep. So Tim rescuing Batman in an encounter with Scarecrow. Batman eventually enlisted him as the third Robin at the age of 14. So, that's good. Before joining Batman as the third Robin, Dick was given a modern redesign of the Robin costume and set to train abroad with numerous experts to refine his martial arts, which is cool. So I do remember that. I think he did a stint with Lady Shiva. What's his name? What is it? Rick Dragon. Chat, you can help me out. I think it is Rick Dragon. He's like a kung fu master. Just to refine his martial arts. When Bruce Wayne retires after Nightfall, Robin goes solo to defend Gotham City and would eventually go on to co-star with his other teenage superheroes in Young Justice and Teen Titans. He also had guest appearances in other DC comic books such as Nightwing and Azrael.
Which would make sense with Nightwing.
Yes. Robin will also become increasingly closer to fellow teen vigilantes, Stephanie Brown, known as Spoiler. I've always known him to be with Spoiler.
Stephanie was just clearly a beard.
Yeah, I hate that.
I so hate it. Yeah, it may come in do this. But yeah, that is just ridiculous. This retconning that they keep doing with characters just because they can't make their own.
Yeah, no, they're going to take 30 years of continuity and go like, well, we need something to do with this character. His character was fine. Everybody was getting kind of like different roles within the Bat family. And, that's... they maybe do the Chris Chan sigh.
Yeah, and the thing is that unfortunately Tim Drake was never the power bottom, and they need to stop trying to force that.
Yeah, I mean, when I typed in photos of Tim Drake and when they actually made him gay, like the issue, like it's drawn like a young adult novel, like it's drawn the exact way that you would like expect it, and was like it by people who don't understand the medium. It also it looks like a romance anime, like just here. All I had to do is type in Tim Drake, and
Vaughn Coleman brings up Tim Drake is a brilliant detective, but couldn't figure out that he was gay.
Yeah, this is his.
I'm scared.
I know. Oh Christ.
Oh jeez.
Uh-huh. Like, look at the... I think I want that. How do you not know?
Yeah.
Or here we can make it even worse. I always hate seeing this one too. It's so dopey. Oh, Christ.
Gosh, who's the villain in the issue? Heteronormative ideology.
Like it doesn't even look like Tim. Like
no.
It's got like this sappy look on his face. They couldn't even like did it like periodically where I don't know, like he sees Dick Grayson walk by and he's like, oh, what's that? Because everyone knows Dick Grayson, best ass in DC Comics. There's just something, a little hint.
No, just suddenly.
Mr. Strawberry Blonde comes in. He's like, yes, I think I want that. Okay. Makes total sense. Let's see. Let's share this back and close that forever. Yep. Gay. It's so sad too. So let's probably one of the most they really kind of gloss over what goes on in Nightfall here, because that was a big that was a big deal. But we'll have to talk about Nightfall in its own right. But basically, I mean, he was one of the first people to pick up that Azrael or John Paul Valley was not a good uh, replacement for Bruce Wayne, and he was kind of abusing the Batman mantle, and he was getting more and more crazy. And Tim was one of the first people to go to Bruce and go like, "Hey," and he's like, Bruce is like, "Well, what do you want me to do?" Kind of like, I got a broken back. And also I retired. Like I gave, everybody was shocked when Dick Grayson did not get the mantle during Nightfall because John Paul Valley, we'll get into him eventually, but he is about as mentally screwed up as a character can be. He had programming from from basically a cult, and then Batman was like, "Nah, great, you can beat up criminals on rooftops now." Following the death of his father in Identity Crisis, which was huge in Identity Crisis, I remember that for sure. In the presumed death of Stephanie in War Games, Tim relocated to Bloodhaven, the city where Nightwing fights crime for a period to escape the ghosts of Gotham City, to stay close to his stepmother, Dana Winters, and who was admitted into Bloodhaven's clinic after going into psychological shock after Captain Boomerang killed Jack Drake. And that was a good shout out to Captain Boomerang. Captain Boomerang kind of gets like I don't want to say a bad rap like on cartoons and movies. Like, he is a psycho killer. Like, there's not
he's definitely underplayed as that.
They're like, "Oh, he has this thing," and it was like, no, he throws a bladed weapon that happens to come back to him, but like that's his preferred thing. He's maybe not as bad as Zaz or someone like that, but yeah, he still has no problem killing people. It's usually for monetary gain. Let's see. So 2009 to 2011, Red Robin. Now Red Robin is cool. I like the design. Man, Wiki, you never have yes, Captain Boomerang is dope, Vaughn. Thank you. Very much kind of what you would expect a grown-up Robin to look like. Like he took the mantle a little bit further. Red Robin, which was introduced in late 2009, depicted Tim Drake's search to find evidence that Bruce Wayne was still alive after cutting himself off from the rest of the Bat family. He was approached by Ra's al Ghul's assassins who were interested in finding out what happened to Batman. At the same time, Tamara Fox, Lucius's daughter, has been sent to find Tim Drake to bring him back to Gotham. Tim goes to Iraq and manages to discover definitive proof that Bruce was alive and lost in time. So he was the one to figure out that Bruce Wayne was time displaced when no one was able to figure that out. So in Final Crisis, Darkseid hits Bruce Wayne with his Omega beams, and you see you kind of see Batman. You see Superman holding like Batman's corpse. It's a great shot. Let's find that. I'm on now. Oh, there's the original. That's the look that he gets when he gets hit. But really, I'm not going to Instagram. There we go. Like, that was the. So everyone thought that Bruce Wayne was dead, and it turns out it was something I believe called the Omega Sanction. He didn't kill him. He just kind of like time displaced him. So then you saw Bruce Wayne basically traveling through time to kind of like get back to present day. It was Grant Morrison, so it was convoluted at best. It was very. There's parts that I've read in that I still don't understand. All the while he's being chased by like some weird time displacement robot. So either way, he's the one who figures out that this is happening. Probably Batman or Bruce, even though like he was leaving like clues and like certain like cave paintings and things like that, where some people might be able to post together that Bruce was time displaced. Let's see. Where is it? Okay, yeah, time displaced. Yeah, he's alive but lost in time. He was ambushed by an assassin from the Council of Spiders. He manages to drive himself and Prue, one of the assassins during Ra's al Ghul's, who had become an ally to Tim, to Tam's hotel, and they promptly are abducted by the League of Assassins. Yeah, I barely remember this story.
Yeah.
So either way, let's see. Oh yeah, Black Bat, Cassandra Cain.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Bruce Wayne returns. Tim begins his aid in plans for expanding their mission globally with Batman Incorporated. Batman Incorporated is, like we've talked about this is before, it's incredibly divisive. It's either you like Batman as a what is it? Batman traveling through time makes me think of the Bootstrap paradox, where he needs to unalive his own parents in Crime Alley in order to become Batman. Has that been done? You know what? I don't think that's been done. I wouldn't doubt it. That would be some bad writing, because I mean they've made it apparent in a lot of different issues that if Bruce Wayne's parents were alive, he would never become Batman. He would do other things. It's just he would just never. He wouldn't have that drive in him to become Batman. He wouldn't have anything to avenge. If Bruce Wayne's parents came back tomorrow, he probably would stop being Batman. He would do other things. He would not be Batman. Joker voice. Good to see you, buddy. So Batman Incorporated takes away from all of that, where he's like, well, I'm going to set up like a global network of people. So instead of being like this urban legend, which is the way we like our Batman, he starts a conglomerate, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Tim is eventually appointed as the head of the newest incarnation of the Outsiders, which is a we probably should do an episode on the Outsiders, because Batman has had a long history with the Outsiders, and that now serve as Batman Incorporated's Black Ops wing. So kind of like X-Force.
Yep.
For Batman Incorporated. Red Robin eventually rejoins the Teen Titans and takes over leadership from Wonder Girl. He remains the team leader during the climactic battle against Superboy Prime and the new Legion of Doom. Superboy Prime is something that we will get into when we finish Cavecast and go to Krypton Cast. But that is that's a character that's the character that punched reality and woke up Jason Todd after, the murder of Jason Todd. So that's.
I look forward to when we get done with Batman and go into that, and we can finally determine exactly what Superman's kryptonite is.
Yeah, there's arguments. I was reading the other day, so that didn't even come up in the show or in the comics. Kryptonite didn't make its way into the comics till like 5 years after it got to start on the radio show, which was, I think, in like 41. All right, New 52.
Yeah.
In September 2011, the New 52 rebooted DC's continuity. In this new timeline, Team Titans revealed Tim Drake's new origin, showing a large departure from his original origin, removing his connections to Dick Grayson's origin story. In the New 52, Tim was a talented athlete and computer genius who comes close to discovering Batman's identity, but never totally figures it out. When Tim finds... and that's another thing, too, because... Batman's continuity was one of the few things that they tried to like untouch. They're just like everything that happened in Batman's history happened in the first 5 years, which is stupid. And it also brings more timeline questions up, but it caused more problems than it solved. But they wanted to reboot all of the continuity. You can't be like, oh, but this hero is fine. We're not going to reboot Batman. If you're going to reboot everybody, you need to reboot everybody. So they still rebooted Tim Drake, but again, they didn't reboot Batman. That doesn't make sense. But he never totally figures it out. When Tim finds the Batman and gets rejected for the role of sidekick, he decides to bring the Batman to him by hacking the Penguin's bank account and donating millions of dollars, thus putting his family in danger. The Penguin's goons come after Tim and his family, but Batman saves them. Tim's parents are forced to go into witness protection, but they believe that Tim deserves better and ask Bruce to take care of him for them. The witness protection program renames him Tim Drake. What was his original name then? Okay. And he takes on the identity of Red Robin rather than that of Robin out of respect to Jason Todd. In later issues, he's shown as a founding member of the Teen Titans, as well as as their leader, and he shows feelings towards Wonder Girl, which are reciprocated until, of course, he...
Again, New 52 just destroyed so much.
I know. Let's see. Tim was unwilling to meet with the rest of the Bat family at the Batcave after he was infected with the Joker's new compound. I don't know. That got me. He was present when Damian was killed by the heretic and admitted to Bruce that even though he had a dysfunctional relationship with Damian, that he'd grieve for him. Yeah, not a lot of people like Damian when Damian first dropped. There's people who still don't. I tend to like him. He's not the worst character in the world. He also has a final battle between Batman. He also at the final battle between Batman and the heretic when Talia killed her son's clone and blew up Wayne Tower. So he was there in the thick of that. Okay. Tim also was a part of the Bat family's assemble team, which went to Apokolips to retrieve Damian's body. As the mission focused on retrieving Robin, Tim, Jason, and Barbara wore costumes that resembled Damian's colors. In each wore the R symbol. I do remember that. That is a cool shot. It's probably going to be hard to find. But following the completion of their mission and the revival of Damian, he handed him the Robin symbol on his suit to welcome Damian back into life and the role as Robin. So now we're getting into pre-conversion. That's just a bunch of like a soft crisis, and then that's how we get into DC Rebirth. Let's see if they say anything about him going rainbow.
Right there. Yep. Okay, so it's under Infinite Frontier
Infinite
2000.
Frontier.
Yeah.
Okay. Tim's history is smoothed over again by restoring his pre-New 52 histories as Batman's third apprentice and reestablishing him having been Robin since that time. Which, great start, Infinite Frontier. See, Rebirth and Infinite Frontier started bringing a lot of great things back. It's just there's people who still can't like help themselves and needed to put stupid shit in like this. So reestablishing him as Robin in Batman Urban Legends, it is revealed that he and Stephanie Brown broke up off panel, and he reconnected with a friend from high school, Bernard Dowd. Bernard is kidnapped, sending Tim on a rescue mission while trying to understand what he truly desires from life. I remember just going like, dude, these guys jump off of rooftops and fight ninjas. Who they date is the least interesting thing about him. Okay, like this is, if you want to read a dating comic, pick up an Archie comic. Okay, like all of that stuff is background stuff. Okay, it's you want to read a superhero with like relationship problems, pick up an issue of Spider-Man. Pete's constantly getting cucked years and years and years now. Go with that. But Bernard. During the rescue, Bernard tells Robin that his friend Tim helped him come out and to understand himself, prompting Robin to realize his own identity as a bisexual man. And why did they make him bisexual is when once people are like fed up and sick and tired of it, they can just put him right back with Stephanie.
Yeah.
They just wanted to pander to people, and it's a shame. Afterwards, out of costume, Bernard asked Tim on a date, and Tim accepts. Tim would later tell Bruce and the rest of the Bat family off panel about his breakup with Stephanie and his new relationship with Bernard before moving to Gotham Marina on his own. Tim Drake plays a minor role in assisting Batman during the Joker War and Fear State event, which both of those were sweet. So they were just like, no, don't be involved in these awesome events.
Just minor roles.
Just go off with your new boyfriend because
he was too busy. Hey, he's too busy to assist Batman because he was all about the dick during that period of time.
He's like, I would love to help, but I gotta get.
I'm a lover, not a fighter. Bruce, I can't help. I'm a lover, but I'm not a fighter anymore.
I went to go punch a guy, and like my wrists are limp now, so I don't think I'm gonna be any help.
Bernard and I are going antiquing this weekend. Sorry, we can't assist.
Bernard makes it so much worse. Like
I know.
Like I love Bernard. He's a saint. Tim Drake, Robin. Tim lives in a houseboat while working to forge his path away from Batman. Shortly after his move, Tim gets framed for a crime that he didn't commit in the Maria residence. He works with Darcy Thomas, Sparrow, former initiate of the We Are Robins movement, which was ridiculous. Detective Williams to find the real culprit. Let's see, anything more about Bernard? Bernard gets captured, guys, by a guy codenamed Moriarty. They're not even trying anymore. No. Moriarty, famous final foil for Sherlock Holmes until eventually, the writer brought Sherlock back because people were in an uproar when Sherlock Holmes got killed. But I think that was the Rybeck Falls, where they both fall to their death and Watson watches it. It's a whole nother thing. But either way, don't worry. He saves Bernard.
Bernard got kidnapped by two Nigerians wearing a MAGA hat.
Yeah. It was like, Where are you going, Bernard? Getting a Subway sandwich, are you?
Why is it tuna and why are you in a polar vortex?
All right, so we got that. Like I said, he was going by Drake for a little bit.
Yeah.
Uh, that's pretty much what it is now. He started out as a completely awesome character, and then they nerfed him completely because, and this is usually how it is with any superhero. It doesn't matter who you're dating or whatever. When you bring in a love interest, what's gonna happen? But that love interest gets captured, and that's always what it's gonna be about.
Yep.
It took. There's a lot of superheroes that kind of like fall into that. I'm sure it happened all the time in Spider-Man, and it happens in Batman. It happens a hell of a lot in Superman. But it's at least interesting with Superman because Lois never listens and she always gets herself in stupid situations. But she needs that scoop. She's got to have that scoop. She's in it for the scoop. So we can go skills and abilities. He's basically a miniature Batman. Okay, here we go. He went under training with, like I said, Batman, Nightwing. Henry Ducard is one. Cassandra Cain and Lady Shiva. Like, I remember the Lady Shiva training was brutal. So he knows Aikido, karate, boxing, judo, kung fu, tai chi, Krav Maga, and an esoteric Tibetan martial arts style, which includes the healing arts, which utilize pressure points. That's another thing that we didn't talk. He uses a bow staff, which is an awesome, awesome look. And it's totally collapsible. It fits in his utility belt. It's pretty sweet. So he's got a genius level IQ of 142. They said his high level intelligence has also lent him praise from Ra's al Ghul, being one of the few Batman family members that he addressed distinctively as detective, which is something that he usually just calls Bruce. Tim is capable of speaking several languages beyond his native English, including Cantonese, Russian, Spanish, German. So, I mean, the dude's a tank. He's a genius. His best friend is like Superboy, Con-El Kent. And so, he's got a lot of good things going. Everybody thought it was Dick Grayson because of the cartoon, but yes, all the good stuff that you read in Young Justice, it was Tim Drake. Yeah, I think we about got it. Let's see, in other versions. Let's do other media. Tim Drake appears in the DC animated universe. He first appeared in the new Batman adventures, Superman the animated series, Static Shock. So I mean, because in the new Batman adventures, Dick is already Nightwing. So they kind of skipped over Jason Todd entirely. But they did try to fill that in the comics, and it was about as messy as you think it would be. He appeared. I guess he appeared in Teen Titans Go. He definitely appears in Young Justice, the cartoon. But that's like in season 3. So far, no live action yet.
What was I think it was Bosch that brought no, it's Joker's voice that did bring this up, and I mean, maybe that was kind of a nod to it. Okay, so no, that's not it. I gotta go further back. He's talking about Gordon Joseph Levitt. Let's see, character in Dark Knight Rises played Detective Blake, inspired by Drake, you think? That's a question.
Oh, okay.
Back at 9:13.
Boosh.
I mean, I mean, yeah, if they maybe did a fourth or something like that, instead of going right to, if they were going to bring a Robin in, I think overall, I think that would have been bring Drake in instead of Dick in that universe.
I mean, because
Because again, and
you can
I mean,
only
they already
establish Tim Drake first and then show Nightwing after and go like, well, who's that? Well, that was the first Robin. You know,
yeah,
you don't have
they don't have to. You don't have to go sequentially in the movies. Nightwing can all of a sudden appear, and yeah, just that explanation is that he was.
He shows up, you know, just starts kicking ass, and they're like, "Who's that?" They were like, "Oh, well, that's the first Robin." And this is from our friend of the channel, Boosh McFadden. This is the symbol for the martial art that Tim specializes in.
Oh,
thanks for that. Very sad. Yeah, I mean, okay, he appears as Robin in Dark Tomorrow, which even though it was a terrible Batman game, just from the mechanics and everything, the story was, well, I guess the story was mid too, but you know, it was cool at the time, because yeah, it was like in 2003. You know, it was a rise into, you know, we hadn't gotten the Arkham games yet. But you know, obviously, you know, we have him in the Arkham games, and that's a good you know, thing too. I like when they have his head shaved. It's kind of a more of a soldier look. Although they have him dating Barbara in those games, which is kind of weird. I don't know why you would change that, but yeah, I think we got it.
What happened to Bernard? I mean, come on. I mean, all of a sudden we're just going to completely ignore Bernard.
Well, yeah, luckily we got the Arkham games
before. Yeah.
Oh God, other collected editions. Bottom, Tim Drake, Pride Special #1, Urban Legends 4 to 6 and 10, Elephant in the Room. Ugh. When he would focus on the elephant, he would focus on the trunk, right? All right, so we got that. This is great. Wonderful character. I'm positive within the next couple of years. She sure does, Joker. Within the next couple of years, they'll reboot again, and they'll, you know, make up for previous mistakes. And you know, and if you like gay Tim Drake, that's fine. It's just most of us, it's just never done with tact. It's like we talked about it with, you know, oh my God, Bobby Drake, Iceman. You know, where he didn't even know he was gay. You know, Jean Grey had to go, but Bobby, you're gay, and he's like, oh my God, like, you know, after like 30 years of being a womanizing character. So maybe if you just have the last name Drake, you're predisposed to not knowing that you're gay. So,
hey, you want to know if DC truly has not learned their lessons, they're going to make Barbara Gordon a lesbian.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could see that coming too. You know, yeah, maybe she'll get a role in the Hay with Poison Ivy like everybody else does. Yeah. But yeah, that'll do it. Hey, thanks for stopping in. You got anything coming up for the rest of the week? I know you were you were laying low for a bit, but it's good to
it's stress and everything else is kind of, unfortunately, with work has just unfortunately brought me under the weather a little bit. So coming up next at 11 a.m. PST, we have Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass, which I produce. Coming up next week, I got at 6 o'clock now, 6 p.m. PST is Nerds Covering the News. And starting on the 11th, we have a brand new show called Make Me a Sandwich, which will be over on Devil Made Me Do It channel. And that will be at 7:30 p.m. PST. And then my show on Friday at 9:30 PST, which is insert title here.
Yep. If you guys haven't checked that out, do yourself a favor. Hell of a lot of fun. And wonderful sponsors on the show. I myself am Sammy Threepeat. You can find me here every week. Well, I guess we don't have to go into Tim Drake next week. We can probably just get into we can get into Damian Wayne, and then after that it'll be a brief brush over like the remainder of the Bat family. We'll just go one by one, knock those out, and then we can start getting into villain character analysis. And I tonight 9:00 PST, midnight for us, I will be on Moxie James' channel for her Griftathon or Grift Off. I'm not sure where that's going to be, but you can also find me every Sunday at 9 p.m. In other news, I believe we have the host of Space Couch, my buddy Brian, and Sons and Shadows will be on as well. You might find a couple other characters that you recognize, but other than that, every Tuesday, Tinfoil Haters. Every Thursday, Roman Show. Sometimes you'll find me on Iron Oxide. Sometimes you'll find me on Drunken Emerald Arrows. And other than that, oh yes, a new show, Rumble exclusive. You can find me on Quizmaster Darnell with Iron Oxide. We review police videos. It's called Two Sieves and a Pig, and that's been a hell of a lot of fun just watching people get arrested. Other than that, guys, we will see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
You want to get some? Come on.
Yes, Batman, clad in the somber costume which has struck terror to the heart of many a swaggering denizen of the underworld.
Bob? Done.
Holy CinemaScope! Holy miscast Batman! Holy movie mogul! Holy cliffhangers Batman! Holy suborbit Batman! It's raining down there! The history! Holy catastrophes Batman! Holy bullseye Batman! Holy stereo! Listen to this! Holy armadillos! Holy Krypton! Holy trampoline! Holy fork in the road! Holy Titanic Batman! Holy Houdini! Holy funny bone the Joker! Holy chutzpah! Holy precision! Come on,
Tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel.
The monster who took you from me will soon learn that revenge is a dish best served cold.